All right, my friends, it is a great day to put strings on a guitar. This is a Fernandes. Most likely this is from the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Oh, it's missing its back plate. Still has the screws in there. It has one little tiny chip right there. But today is a great day to put some new strings on this. You run your finger underneath these strings and it's just like, grody. So we're gonna put some new strings on it. This has a little Floyd Rose style tremolo on here. So this says FRT tremolo system. Something that I haven't seen before, but I'm gonna say it is definitely some type of Floyd Rose knockoff. It's kind of cool. It has a low profile about it. Let's get these strings off of here. And so my first step is to loosen the locking nut. And I'm just going to pull these little locks right off of here. And I set them on the bench here so that they stay and they go back into the right place. Fernandes, made in Japan. These babies are really kind of hard to get in the United States. This is short of a speed loader style, where the strings just load in the back here. So instead of cutting this, or dragging all this through there, I'm just going to cut it. I was thinking, should I do one string at a time or should I do all of them? Because I kind of wanted to get in here and clean this fretboard, polish these frets a little bit. Let's take a look together, because again, this is my first time looking at one of these. So the string, I'm going to zoom you guys in real good. There's a reason why they stopped building certain, bridges and different parts. There's reasons why things didn't last. So the string goes through this part of the saddle right here. And the fine tuner screws set up on top of these Phillips screws. And so then the string lays up on top of here. And this thing does not look like it would be intonated. Oh, well, look at this. This is actually loose right here. So I have to keep experimenting with this. So I'm just going to sort of eyeball where I think it would be intonated based on your average guitar and where the saddles usually rest. Okay, so I think what's left is right here where the D string is. That thing is obviously too far forward. So it's loose here. Let me loosen it here. And just kind of push it back here. Up. That one looks pretty good right there. I think I'll leave that one there. I think I'll move this one back a little tiny bit. Now we're just going to have to guess right now on where we think this thing will be intonated. Like, again, and I'm just kind of putting these where normal electric sort of set. The saddle sort of set in a certain spot. And that was too far back. I think I'm going to leave it about right there. And then after I get strings on it, we can check the intonation on this So normally you've got, you know, kind of 3 across here and then 3 across here in this direction. They're all kind of, you know, maybe this one should have gone back a little bit. Maybe this one could have gone back a little bit. But I think they're a lot closer to where an average guitar intonates than it was. But again, once we get strings on it, then we'll test that out and we might be way off. Okay, so I'm going to get in here and clean these frets down a little bit. So I just take my fret guard and I have a little 1000 grit sandpaper. And I just sort of lightly give these guys a little bit with the sandpaper, and it shines them up pretty good without, you know, having to level or recrown them or any of that. Just trying to get the top layer of, you know, gook off the top, corrosion. A lot of these Japanese guitars, they were in a lot of humidity. This guitar was, you know, born and raised in Japan, and it spent most of its life there, and it's very humid there. And so, yeah, there's a lot of corrosion on some of these, and this knocks that off real quick and easy, and adds a nice little shine to them. So there's that. And then I just take some lemon oil and put on here. Whoa. And just sort of wipe this in. And just let that kind of set in there. Try to let some of it absorb. Yeah, so if we get in here and look at these frets. This guitar is for sale, so this is one way of kind of looking it over before you come in. Fernandes. Okay, so I'm just checking the tuning here, and I have it about a half step down. When I pull this piece out, this rubber $100 bill eraser that I use, there we go. Now it should sharpen them up down here as far as these notes. So yeah, now we just got to go through and tune this thing up. And this bridge, I know it started off with us not knowing what we're doing, but this thing might not be so bad. So after you get used to it and you do it a couple of times, I'm sure it's going to be okay, but let's keep tuning. So one thing that I did notice about this bridge is that it does set really low. It's kind of like a low profile kind of a thing. There's plenty of room where your wrist can set on it, or your palm can set on it. And that's probably what the engineers were thinking. It's recessed down in here, it's set slow. There's some of those Floyd Roses that used to come way up into here, and the tuners were way up into this neighborhood. And there's not those little blocks in there that wear out. So it's kind of a version of that Floyd Road speed loader. And I think I could probably even lower it right here a little bit, just to get our string height down a little. There we go. That's super noisy and clicky, but could maybe put a little 3-in-1 oil underneath that. That thing probably hasn't been adjusted since it was brand new. it's hitting the pickup. So I got a few more adjustments to make on this. Let me see if I can lower this pickup a little bit. And I don't have a tool that I use to adjust stuff. I just use my eyes. I eyeball everything. I use my fingers to kind of feel where we're at. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to check the neck right here. And you can see there is a lot of relief underneath that. So at this point, I think what I'm going to try to do is tighten this truss rod. Okay guys, I'm digging deep into this one now. In order to tighten the truss rod is in the heel. So the neck actually has to come off to get in here to this truss rod. So I'm taking my drill and I'm going to pull the neck. Yeah, I was not expecting this, but here we are. There is a neck shim in there already. I think I'm going to just leave that in there. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Come on now. Okay. That did something. Oh, that did a lot. That looks good. It's got a little tiny bit of back bow to it now. One more just to snug it tight. There we go. It does fit in the pocket nicely. You've got to remember that two of the screws, they're different sizes. Okay, so we've got a longer one that goes here. And because of the way this is carved, the shorter one goes here. Not to mess that up, right? Okay. We'll snug them down with a regular screwdriver so that we don't make those guys crazy in the comments. Oh, nice and tight. Okay, good. That should have solved a big problem. But now I've come into a different problem, and that is up here at the nut. So the nut is setting really high. And if I just sort of hold it right here, you can see we have a huge distance. So I'm going to file this top down a little bit so that there's not so much string height right here at the first fret. So I'm actually taking a file and I'm just kind of running it across here like this for a while. Just to get that to set a little bit lower so that we have a better string height right at the first fret. So I just want to be very cautious not to take too much material off that neck, or I'd probably still be going on it a little bit there. But I want it to just, I had to take a little bit off because our string height right here off the nut, it's not like you can file these down. Sometimes it's a little better to take some of the wood off of there from underneath there. So there's that. It looks like it's sort of setting flat on there. Yeah, it looks like it's setting on there. So hopefully we have a little bit better of a distance. Not such a huge distance between the top of the string and the first fret. I think what I'll do is string it back up again and then check this distance because I might have to take some more off. I want this thing to play really nice. So I might have to take some more material off underneath this nut. So let's see what happens after I tune it up. I was able to find a back plate that actually fit right in there. It's a little kind of old and scratched up, but the truss rod adjustment turned out perfect. The string height came down a lot. It's a very playable guitar now. The nut is still kind of cut kind of high. We do have sort of a lot of space right here at the first fret, so that could be sort of taken down a little bit more. Yeah, you got a lot of string height right there. But other than that, this is a great playing guitar now. It does have a push-push switch right here. And I believe what that would do is maybe it would split this coil right here. But in this amp, you're not going to hear that right now because I'm just in a dirty channel. It's a fun guitar. It's a Fernandes from back in the day, made in Japan. This one is on consignment down here at the shop. Come on in, play it, tell me what you think. And everybody have a great day. Leave me some comments. Think about subscribing. Thank you guys. See ya.